Well, greetings and welcome back, blade lovers. This old sword's with you once again, and a relatively new TwoSun knife. Once again, here's a budget level TwoSun knife, about 46 bucks on White Mountain, less my 10% discount if you use the code OLDSWORD. That brings it way down near 40 bucks, and it is a design by a new designer to me, Xanadu, or YX Designs, and it is none other than the TS392. They're almost at 400. I wonder who gets 400. Well, it'll be interesting to see. Probably by the time you see this, they'll be at 400. It's of D2 steel. It is nicely satin finished. And yeah, it has that real interesting compound grind. Look at that. So we've got a little more shallow grind, I should say higher grind here than we do over here. But if you ask me, it's mainly for effect. I think there's not a whole lot of usefulness to that. Maybe it makes this edge a tiny bit stronger. I don't know. I do know that it's a large blade. It's about 3.9 inches. We're going to get the measurements on it in a moment. Comes through with fairly plain Jane looking kind of a canvas micarta, I guess I'd call it. Nothing real pretty, but definitely serviceable. And a wire clip, not a wire clip, but a spring metal stamped clip, I think is what we call them, with button head screws, and looks like it is set in below the surface of the scale, so they mill out the scale for the clip. That's good. And it's almost deep carry with just that lanyard hole sticking out on the very end. Good jimping, well, sort of good jimping. It's a little smooth. It doesn't really catch my thumb, unfortunately. They rounded it over a bit. Okay, well, we'll have to give them a buy on that, I suppose. We got a very narrow swedge at the top, and comes in a little bit, you know, it's kind of more like a chamfer than a swedge, but it's definitely a swedge that goes out almost all the way to the tip. Got some fairly good thickness out to the tip. And there's a finger groove. There's a swale for the fingers. Nice dished out swale here for the thumb, even though the grip, the jimping doesn't grab you too much. You can get a very good hammer grip on this thing, and I think it might be a pretty good EDC knife, as well as tactical. I like to use that word. Which means if you're carrying it around to protect yourself, then I think it would work. It's on bearings and drop shut. Look at that. I mean, it's dropped shut right out of the box. I didn't do anything to this guy. And there's pretty much no way to open it other than the flipper tab. Good jimping on the flipper tab. Too bad they missed out on the thumb ramp there. But yeah, no problems whatsoever, and that's a very modest flipper tab. Doesn't stand up too proud of the handle. Great positive action. Can it be failed? No. Very nice. Dead center. Yep. And a pretty good blade to handle ratio. And yet, I've got a good safety margin there for my thumb. That's something to be concerned about on some knives. Got almost a full backspacer. In fact, we do have a full backspacer from what looks like G10 with a little bit of jimping on it there. Liner lock knife. Pretty thick liners, and the engagement is about 35%. At any rate, we have full contact between the liner and the tang of the blade. Very nice. And it's a good looking knife. I like the grinds. Look at the grinds. Really nice. There's Xanadu's logo. And let's get some measurements on this guy. Going to be impressively large, I think. Oh yeah, 8 3/4 long overall. And yeah, call that 3.9 on both the cutting edge and on the overall length of the blade. Blade in millimeters. 3.4. See what that works out to in inches. 0.13. And we got a handle of 0.54. A weight of, would help to turn it on, 4.9 ounces, right on the nose. And given that, does it have weight relieving? Let's see. Can't really see inside there. No weight relieving. Part of the economy of this knife. They did not skeletonize the liners. Okay, well, under 5 inches, 5 inches, under 5 ounces for almost a 4-inch blade. I mean, that's respectable. The detent ramp right about there, and it breaks right about there. Not bad. I mean, you do that, you're not going to need to walk it down. See? And I got that tab there that's keeping me from getting cut. Very good. Well, I guess the question it always is lately, did it come through sharp? Working edge. Not a bad working edge. Well, we'll get past that and just say, give it a stropping and it should be good. Now here's a higher end TwoSun. This is the TS306 that I absolutely love, that I reviewed recently, and that is a Mazwan Mokhtar design. So you can sort of see what you get for 150 versus 45-ish, right? And here is a design by Tiguas. This is the TS211 from Sandvik. Pretty much all about the same length knives. And I'd say the longest one is the TS392. How about against the Griptilian? Definitely about an inch longer than the Griptilian. What do we got against the Rat 1? Just about the same size. Yep, dead on, I would say. So folks, that is a new working level TwoSun. Very nice. I mean, a little bit to be desired in the handles, but you know, if you're going to beat on this guy anyway, who cares? It's tough material, and you're not really going to care how pretty it stays. At least, I don't think I would. Although the blade, that's kind of pretty. Nice satin with those grinds. There you have it. The TS392, designed by xanadu. And I'm only seeing that name out on Instagram a little bit, and maybe on a few things I see for sale out on DHgate and AliExpress. And I think Amazon was carrying one of his designs under his own label. But check it out. I'll leave you some links. Be well and come back soon. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.